Back in April, Heine and I drove the HiAce four-wheel drive all the way from Perth to Melbourne, testing our 48-volt system. It's now mid-June, and Heine has gone to collect it to drive it from Melbourne to Brisbane to continue working on our four-wheel drive overland off-road 48-volt HiAce.
I am back in Melbourne now. The guys from the cruiser company have finished. The bull bar is on, but I think the result is fabulous. There's finally some proper impact protection. This is a good solid bull bar.
And we have something very cool to show you.
This is the first proper drawing of our DC-Hub 48 volt.
I'm Andrew St Pierre White, explorer, overlander and broadcaster with over 40 years driving 4x4s in association with EGON, game-changing simplicity.
All that's left for me now is pack everything back up again, and then I'll drive from here to Brisbane to Headspace so the roof can get cut out and we can put proper sleeping arrangements in. It's 7 o'clock on a bloody cold morning in Melbourne and it's time to go. Look, drive should be nice. I'll go around the south coast of New South Wales up through Sydney to meet a few people there and then straight through to Brisbane. So today is a 10.5-hour drive.
And as you can see, the cruiser company of front a bull bar has been fitted. It's starting to look like a real four-wheel drive, don't you think?
I'm now halfway in between Melbourne and Sydney, and as soon as I've entered New South Wales, I think about 10 minutes later, New South Wales has done its usual thing and it started to rain, and a bit north of Sydney there's massive floodings at the moment, so I hope I can even make it through to go all the way to Brisbane. Boy, am I glad that I can sleep right there.
I have to keep reminding myself that this is still a test drive for the 48 volt system, and I keep forgetting because I don't have to do anything anymore. The setup is now working so well, I just drive the van and the 48 volt system just keeps working. I hardly notice it's there until I need energy and I realize it's all there.
That was a long drive today. I'm about 100 k's from Sydney. It's been raining for the last, I think, 4 hours. And it's really tiring for the eyes, this long drive. And the last bit I did drive at night. And then the campsite I wanted to get to, road was completely closed. So I don't even know where I am right now. I just took a side road and a side road and a side road. And I think I'm halfway in between a private driveway and some fields. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not in anybody's way, and I think it will be right. The good news though is, even though it's raining a lot outside, I can camp inside.
So on here I explain a little bit.
Before I let Heine loose on you to explain the technicalities of the EGON DC-Hub 48 volt, I need to explain, I think, the need for this product. 48 volts is 4 times more efficient than 12 volts. So everything you've got 4 times more energy through cables that are 1/4 the size. Everything is easier. Everything is more efficient. The energy storage, everything is multiplied by 4, but the complexity is also multiplied by 4. And it's not a simple case of just buying a whole lot of 48 volt components and then doing a conversion. Getting everything to talk to each other to prevent damage to the 12 volt system and to make sure the 48 volt system runs efficiently demands some technical know-how, expertise, and those challenges need to be overcome. The idea of EGON, of course, with the DC-Hub is to simplify DC installations in 12 and 24 volts. This now does exactly the same, simplifying a 48 volt installation in a caravan, truck, 4x4, you name it. Game-changing simplicity. Heine, take it away.
We have got our house battery connector. We have got our alternator connector on board. And then on this side, this is just the main power for the alternator that's coming into the board. There's a shunt on board here that will measure how many amps are coming from the alternator. Because on this side here, we've got the connector for the wake speed alternator controller. So all you have to do is connect the wake speed harness onto this connector. Then your other connections to the alternator, like the field, the tacho, the accessory, the battery positive supply that you need, and so on and so forth for the field and ground. It's all on this connector. And the shunt here that's on the board is already connected to the wake speed connector. So this way, the wake speed unit knows exactly how many amps are coming out of the alternator, and you don't have to do that externally anymore. So it's making this really simple. And then because you've got 48 volt on board here already, you can connect a 6 kilowatt inverter easily to the board with a 150 amp mega fuse on the board itself. Plus you have got two 48 volt 100 amp outputs here. You can run a winch of that, a 48 volt winch, or you can connect your caravan. Get a 200, a 300 amp in 12 volt charge circuit into your caravan. And then other things that we've got on here is there's a direct connection here to have a Servo GX connected. There's an accessory input that will turn relays on, which will then in turns turn the DC-DC converters on that will supply 12 volt to the vehicle and also 12 volt to an accessory fuse box where you can run all your accessory 12 volt equipment. You can use your relay hub for that, or you can use any other 12 volt distribution system. And it's all on here. All the fuses are on here, spare fuses, of course, as well. And then there's something here that is special, and I think a really big issue is something that is called a load dump scenario. Imagine the alternator is...
I know you're excited about what you've discovered, but let's not give away the farm.
That I haven't found anywhere because I tried to find a solution for this and there was nothing. So this is another thing that the 48 volt hub will take care of. It's managing load dump scenarios. And this is going to be the size of the whole unit. That's all it is. And all your power distribution, everything that you see in the van that's on that board on the side now with all that mess, it's this. That's all it is.
Oh, since it's raining outside tonight and I haven't got anything prepared, I'm making myself sandwiches on the sandwich toaster, which being outside would be quite uncomfortable at the moment, but in here, super easy.
See, that is the thing. If you can have a vehicle that is really competent off-road and that you can live in and out of, that's the ticket.
God, I'm so glad that I can be in here at the moment.
Oh, this? Yeah, I'll tell you more about that in a moment.
I've never camped in this luxury before. In a camper trailer maybe, but then you still have to set up the camper trailer. The beauty of this is I arrived, and once I was happy with the position that I was parked in, I just crawled into the back. And since I've got access to all the bits and pieces in here, not comfortable access yet, you still have to reach over things and accidents happen. I spilled the olives on the floor before, more the oil from the olives than the olives themselves, lucky enough. But look at this. It's still warm in here. I think that changes throughout the night. But at the moment, I'm quite comfortable. And I'll have dinner soon. And I might even watch a movie while I have dinner. Because I've got phone reception here. I've got a computer with me. I just turn the inverter on now. And if you're wondering, If I'm flattening the start battery because the lights are on, I'm not, because accessories of the car is still on and the 48 volt battery is still supplying the 12 volt battery, which is the start battery. So it means all the power for everything, including the radio that I've turned off so I can film at the moment, it's all running from that lithium battery right there, which will completely recharge tomorrow in less than an hour. This is most certainly going to be a very interesting drive. I'm south of Sydney now, and I've watched a bit more of the news. This is one of the, if not even the worst flooding that has happened here in New South Wales in a very long time or ever, according to the news. Have a look what it looks like. And this is not the region that has been hit hard or is being hit hard. It's north of Sydney where it's really bad. I'm in the south now, and this is what a normal field looks like over here at the moment. I've made it almost into Wollongong, and then the Macquarie Pass was closed. And then the alternative track that I drove into did get closed while I was halfway in it, and I just made it out. I almost got cut off in there as well. So now I'm backtracking to see if I can get back onto the M31, take the long way around, but at least still get out of here and get to Sydney. Fingers crossed.
In Sydney, I met with EGON installation partners to show them our new technology and also help them with an installation for Headspace. And now I'm on the way to Brisbane, which is the main part of this journey, and this is where you find me now.
Good morning. I've woken up in the Hunter Valley today, so I made it out of Sydney. The rain eased off towards the end of the day. I still managed to get to the companies that I wanted to visit a lot later, so the drive out of Sydney was a lot later as well, and I had to turn off inland because there are still areas that are completely flooded. I decided to turn left into the Hunter Valley and then take the long way around. So that's where I am right now. I've camped probably 150 meters away from the road that I'm traveling on, which is right there. It was really windy, and as you can see, it's quite open. Wind was coming from that direction. Anything with canvas, it would have been a very noisy night and very uncomfortable as well, because it was super cold at the same time. I did realize something today. Yesterday, when I drove out of Sydney, I completed my lap around Australia. And it started 20 years ago when I traveled with my mate Isa from Sydney to Rainbow Beach, and I drove all the way around the top later on in years with Rena, traveled WA, but I never went further than Sydney or on the other side Esperance. That was the furthest I've ever been. So by leaving Sydney yesterday, I completed the whole lap around Australia, and it's been 20 years in the making, pretty exactly. I'm now crossing the McIntyre River into Goondiwindi, which is the border in between New South Wales and Queensland. Here we go. Queensland, the Texas of Australia. I'm in the jungle now. I'm looking for a creek to actually have a shower in, or a bath, because it's about that time where I can start to smell myself. So hopefully I can find something. It's probably going to be really cold.
I had to kill a bit of time because the guys at Headspace weren't ready for me yet. So I went to the Main Range National Park and I wandered through the jungle. I climbed up a few different peaks, and it's just absolutely fascinating nature around here. I could have spent easily another few weeks.
How nice is this place? I think that there looks like my bathtub.
This is the part that I've been looking forward to the most. Going to Headspace campus and seeing the roof conversion for the HiAce van. This is gonna completely transform this into an overlanding machine.
I am in Brisbane now and I am about to arrive at Headspace. Spent the weekend in Brisbane, which was very uneventful because the bad weather followed me around again. I don't know what it is, but when I go camping, the rain just sticks to me like poo-poo to a blanket. Anyway, I'm almost at Headspace now, and the way I understand it, I'm 1 week late already. Unfortunately, there are still more delays with the roof conversion, and I might not be able to film anything. So we might have to rely on some footage that the guys will supply for us. It's a bit unfortunate because I would have loved to see the process, but that's what it's like. Building prototypes isn't easy. And one thing is for certain with building prototypes, it's definitely not going to go to plan straight away. That's just the way it is. I found out what our HiAce will be looking like. This is quite a big troopy that is parked right next to it. And look how small it looks right next to the van. I've also done another thing. I've helped the guys from Headspace campus to pimp their van. So I've took the liberty to actually put stickers onto it.
What makes this conversion unique in that, like Troopy, the bed can fold away when it is not being used. Therefore it takes up no real estate inside the vehicle. While bigger than Troopy, it's not a large vehicle. And that's the point. Being not overly big, it will hold on to a reasonable level of off-road performance and agility.
What you can see here, this is the prototype that Headspace has made. This is the very first roof conversion that they've made for the HiAce. This is obviously still quite crude because it is a prototype that you make to learn how to do it properly. So we're lucky we'll get the first production model installed into ours. But here's a quick look into what it looks like on the inside.
Then let's talk suspension. Check it out. This is a suspension system. That's the front strut, variable height, adjustable height front strut. As I've mentioned in videos before, we feel that the Bus 4x4 HiAce suspension is ordinary, a little undershocked, and certainly undersprung, particularly at the back. So we went looking. It turns out that there are a few ordinary upgrades, and I put the word upgrades in inverted commas because they're ordinary products. They're not high level products, and I think that they might improve it, but then also they might not. And we were looking for a high-end product, and there's nothing on the market. There might soon be. These we are about to fit and test. They were made up especially for us. They are not, and I know some of you will be thinking, oh, where did you get those? They're not available. They might become available. We will test them and report that back once we've done that. And of course, once the 48-volt system has been installed and the suspension, Hannah and I are taking it on its next test adventure. We'll be driving it all the way from Brisbane to Perth, about 3,600 kilometres. There'll be lots of asphalt, there'll be lots of gravel, lots of corrugations, and some off-road. That's happening soon, and if you want to make sure that YouTube sends you a notification, telling you that we've dropped another video on this story. You better click that little subscribe button and also that little notifications bell. This HiAce, we have turned this HiAce from a delivery van into something magical. Stay with us. The standard of electrical installations in 4x4s, caravan, camper trailers is actually quite poor, and that is because of a lack of expertise and companies doing vehicle builds holding on to that expertise. That is no longer a problem because of the EGON DC-Hub. It reduces build time, installation time, by over 75%. Difficult to believe, yes, but it's a simple unit that allows all of the batteries, all of the chargers, all of the accessories to be wired into one compact place. No need for a bus bar. And because no lugs, no heat shrink, all you need is a screwdriver. And you wire everything to one compact place. It saves a huge amount of space, and as I said, a huge amount of time. And you will get a first-rate, first-class installation every single time without the need for expertise. You owe it to yourself to go to egon.com.au, look for DC-Hub. It will change your build and possibly change your life.